The ECB left interest rates unchanged, and Bank President Mario Draghi gave few clues to whether we can expect more easing anytime soon. Market reaction? Well, pretty much as you were. So has Draghi played another blinder once again? Out now to Tom Vosa, Head of Market Economics at National Australia Bank. Tom, what's your reaction?
It was almost deja vu all over again. We had an extremely similar statement to October. The only difference that we can find is that he now accepts that there is really no growth momentum in 2013. So come December, we'll get some lower star forecasts, but that it seems to no longer be enough to get the ECB to cut rates.
Why not?
Well, it looks like they considered negative reserve rates. It certainly hasn't ruled it out, but it wasn't on the discussion for today, and they haven't even got a plan for whether they're going to discuss rate cuts in 2013. Instead, it looks as if the ECB has decided that the reduction it's seen in periphery spreads, the enhancement it's seen to financial conditions where institutions can now actually issue US dollar bonds and get them placed, the fact that we've seen some improvement in government bond markets is a monetary easing. So the unorthodox measures, the announcement of OMTs have done all the hard work. The ECB is going to stand put and do no more. It's now up to governments.
So it's up to governments now to get the Eurozone economy out of recession, not the central bank?
That seems to be where they're now at. They think that they're by and largely done with Greece. I think they're waiting for Spain to help them, but they would argue that OMTs are a decision for the Spanish government, not the fault of the Bank of Spain or indeed the ECB. And I think we're trying to keep the council together now. We're doing the legal minimum that the ECB has to do. Innovation is now out of the window. They've done OMT, so now it's back to the rule book.
When Draghi said, as you just mentioned there, that the ECB is pretty much done with Greece, I suppose it does leave the obvious question, how on earth then is Greece going to reduce its huge debt pile if the ECB's not going to play any part in it?
Well, of course, the ECB has always said it could never accept a write-down on its Greek government debt, which, going back to when Trichet was running it, well, was, of course, so keen to sell all its Greek government bonds to the EFSF or the ESM, which could, in theory, if all governments agreed, be able to take that write-down. Instead, we're told that all loans will be repaid. I think with Greece, we do have some scepticism there. Indeed, the debt levels still look pretty bad, and we think at least another 70 billion of write-downs needs to happen. That will come from the official sector, but there are many ways to skin that cat.
How much was that, sorry? How much?
About 70 billion euros.
70 billion from the official sector, but not the ECB. Who?
Well, that would require the ESM loans to be written off. Remember, we're being told at the moment that all loans will be repaid. Of course, over what time and at what interest rate. There are ways of giving a write-down which theoretically don't involve the use of a straight write-off of debt. And I think there'll be a restructuring to provide that. Now, you can do it under the loans already made to Greece. Obviously, the IMF and the ECB wouldn't be taking the write-downs. But if they agree to it, national governments can.
OK. You mentioned Spain and the Draghi himself. He was asked several times in different ways. Would he like Spain to ask? Is Spain ready to ask for aid? He seemed to bat them all away fairly effectively.
Well, I think he just repeated that it's up to the Spanish government. However, I think the fact that the ECB are telling you that they feel that they're by and largely done with Greece, it's up to government. They're really hinting to the Spanish government, don't look for us for any more help if things worsen. You'll now have to continue with the reform measures, ask us formally for an OMT, which also means, of course, asking the ESM for a loan and letting the IMF and the EU Commission and ourselves look over your government books and perhaps suggest some more reform measures where we think you're slipping behind. I think this is really to tell essentially Madrid, if you think by waiting you'll get a better deal, that's off the table. OK, finally, what's next? We've got the Troika report soon, we think, and of course there's Eurogroup on Monday. Yes, well, this is certainly the Eurogroup on Monday we're supposed to find out whether Greece has passed and therefore whether monies will start to be dispersed. Now, looking through it, we know that Greece is going to raise about 5 billion euros worth of treasury bills next week via an ELA, and the ECB has no problem with that. So in other words, the Greek central bank can finance the government for the time being, as long as Greek banks are buying it and it's all sterilised, no monetary financing there. Moving forward ahead, really for next year, we suspect is when Spain finally runs out of money and will ask for a loan. But in a run up to Christmas, it's all about Greece. Greek government passed a vote last night. Yes, it was fairly close. So I do think now the Troika have to indicate that they're not looking for any more blood from that particular stone.
OK, Tom, thank you very much. That was Tom Vosa, Head of Market Economics at National Australia Bank. I'm Jamie McGeever. This is Reuters.